Hi everybody, welcome to Season 2, Episode 2 of the Hygge at Home podcast. Following on from my chat with interiors professional Isabel Starr, where we talked about our homes and how a home is more than just a perfectly posed photograph for Instagram, today I'm chatting to the lovely Cher Casey, Mindful Organiser, about how organisation within our homes can help create a Hygge atmosphere, not just within our homes, but within our minds also. Cher Casey is the founder and owner of the Mindful Organiser, a professional decluttering and organising business based in York, England. Cher started her organising career in California back in 2010, and after moving to York to complete her doctoral studies, she realised her true passion was helping people create calm, clutter-free spaces. Cher is a proud member of APDO, the Association of Professional Declutterers and Organisers, and she's worked with clients from all walks of life. As a busy working mum, she particularly loves helping families find practical ways to tackle clutter and stay organised. When Cher isn't sorting wardrobes, you can find her exploring Yorkshire with her golden retriever, Rory. Hi Cher, thank you so much for joining me today.
Hi, it's a pleasure to be here.
So we'll get straight into it because I actually think the very first question really describes the main thing that we're going to be talking about today and how it actually relates to that Hygge lifestyle anyway. Can you explain the concept of mindful organising and how it differs from traditional organising methods?
Mindful organising, for me, it will be different for everyone, but for me, it's really important to understand what is going on in people's homes. So for me, clutter is not about the stuff. It's always about the emotions, the habits, the life circumstances, backstories, and it's a matter of getting in touch with that and really assessing it from kind of the bottom up, and with the aim of creating really relaxing, enjoyable spaces where people can just enjoy their homes, and it promotes well-being as well. So that's a big part of it.
Yeah, like you say, just enjoying the homes without having the clutter, the added stress about thinking about how things look, and knowing in the back of your mind that your space maybe isn't as organised or looking as you'd actually like it to, and then you have that more space for the things you actually want to be thinking about, and that mindfulness,
exactly.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep. So how does mindful organisation contribute to creating that Hygge atmosphere at home?
Yeah, I think the first step in organising is always decluttering for about 99% of my clients. So it's a matter of going in, assessing what's in your space, what you need, what you don't need, really letting go of a lot of stuff. Sometimes it's just built up mail or cosmetics that you haven't used. But assessing what you use and letting go of what you don't use, and kind of going from there. So once there's less stuff in your space, you're able to create calmer environments. The organising always comes after you know how much you have of something, where you want it to be in your home. It's oftentimes that you have things in your home that that's not put in the right place, and every time you go to use it, it's not there. So moving things around in the space, so creating kind of a calm interior so that your house works for you. It's not, things aren't only visible, but it's functional, accessible.
I know in particular I need my kitchen to be like that. I don't know what it is, I just find that my kitchen is kind of my go-to place. It needs to be organised, it needs to be clean and tidy. In the morning, obviously it's school holidays at the moment, so that's not particularly happening. However, on a usual morning before the children go to school, in my head, I need to make sure that kitchen is clean and tidy, everything is put back in its place, so that when I come home ready to work from dropping the children off, it's just there and kind of ready for me. It doesn't really matter about the rest of my home. I don't know what it is. I do like the rest of the home to be tidy and organised, but definitely the kitchen. And when you talk about function too, when we changed the kitchen, I got rid of so many things that just we either weren't using or weren't working for us, and really thought about the organisation of the kitchen and how it was going to work with us, with it really being, I suppose, the main room in the house that we're all using and that we're all together in as well.
Yeah, our kitchens have to work incredibly hard for us, so kitchens alongside wardrobes are some of my favourite spaces to declutter and organise, because there's so much potential, and you notice the difference so much as soon as your kitchen is working for you, because we use it all day long, every day, And small changes make such a huge difference in kitchens, and it's just it's a real pleasure to watch those differences happen.
And you just mentioned another thing, actually, when you mentioned about wardrobes. This is the first year that I've actually changed my autumn and winter clothes, packed them away to make more room for my spring summer outfits, because things were kind of packed away in suitcases or in bags or boxes and just really wasn't getting my use out of them. So this year I made a really conscious effort to actually pack away anything that I wasn't going to be wearing, over the summer, over the hotter months. And it's been great because, one, I found things that I'd forgotten I had, actually. My wardrobe's looking great at the moment. I haven't needed or even wanted to buy anything new. It's just all been there. It's all been organised. I know everything that I find in there is suitable to be wearing this time of year. So that's important too, isn't it? Keeping those wardrobes organised.
Yeah, wardrobes are really important as well, because it's a place where you start your day. We get dressed first thing in the morning, and if you can start your day without the overwhelm of what am I going to wear, what goes with what, does this fit me, it's a space that if you have everything that fits you, that is in season, it's just such an enjoyable way to start the day. And I'm a huge advocate. I'm a huge advocate of rotating, not just clothing, but also not rotating, but with holiday things as well, with the seasons for Christmas, kind of boxing those things up and keeping them together in a separate space. It allows us, the UK, we're lucky, we have really distinct seasons sometimes. You might need to pull out that woolly jumper in the middle. But there's just giving yourself more space in places like the wardrobe is it feels incredible to be able to walk in and have all of your options there.
Yeah, it completely does. And I feel this year in particular, I've managed to get away without opening the wardrobe and thinking, I don't know what goes with what, I don't know what's for this season, what still fits, I've no idea. Just grab some gym trousers and a t-shirt. I might not even be going to the gym, but it's just quick, I know that they're there and easy to grab, and I put them on, and then I don't particularly feel great the rest of the day because I'm wearing the same things all week just because they're easy to grab hold of. So that's really good advice about the organisation of clothes as well. What mindful questions should we ask ourselves when deciding what to keep and what to let go?
The 3 questions, or the 3 things to consider while you're looking at, it's mostly for decluttering. Do you need the object? Do you use it? And do you love it? And ideally, any item should tick all of those boxes. Oftentimes we get duplicates of certain things and we don't actually need both of them. We might like both of them, but we prefer one over the other. So a lot of decluttering has to do with getting in touch with your preferences and really being really real with yourself about, am I a person that does this? Do I need this? There's a lot of things that we hold on to for different reasons, but we've also purchased a lot of things that we don't use and we never intend to use, but they're still in our homes. And so a lot of times it's really stepping into, this is me. This is my real self. This is where I am now. This is not who I was, and this is not my possible future self. And this is what I need for the moment. This stuff can be let go, put back into the community for people to continue to use, just creating more space for yourself.
Yeah, the sustainability, obviously, aspect of it is huge too. I think that's something we chat about a bit later on as well. But I know I really like that, thinking about, where am I now? Something you bought in the past that you may be hanging on to. You've got to think about, does that have a place in my life now as it currently is, and will I be using that again? Something I also did this year, clothes that I was hanging on to in the past, I probably made myself feel worse actually holding on to those things, thinking, I'll fit back into them one day, or one day I'll wear those 6-inch heels, knowing full well I wouldn't. And it was really great, actually. Nothing got thrown away. They all got put on Vinted or sold on eBay or went to charity for other people to enjoy using them. But for where I am at now, they just didn't have a place. Bringing hygge aspect into organisation and creating cosy yet functional spaces, how can we organise our homes to maximise both coziness and functionality?
Decluttering is probably one of the biggest factors in that. When you're able to kind of let go of stuff, you're able to create space. When we live in kind of full houses or cluttered spaces, our clutter is actually a to-do list in most cases. And when we look at that, it may be conscious or subconscious, but when we are around clutter, our brains aren't able to switch off. So it's really hard to relax in a space, fully relax in a space that has stuff around you, because you're thinking about, I should be making bread in that bread maker. I should be returning that to my sister. I should be mailing that. I need to return that on Amazon. There's all these types of things that are happening, and our clutter is actually talking to us. And it's really hard to relax in a space where you have things surrounding you. So being able to reduce the things that you have in your home. I mean, it sounds really simple, but it's really, really hard. It's hard to ask yourself these questions. It's hard to set aside the time. And it's really hard to prioritize this, and that's specifically why I'm able to go in and help people and facilitate that space for them and time to let go of these things. But once you've whittled down what you have, being able to create designated areas for certain things allows us to have, everything has a place, everything in its place is the ideal. And when you have that, your mind isn't thinking, oh, where did I leave that? I need to do this, I need to do that. It allows us to relax.
Yeah, that actually brings us really nicely into the next thing I wanted to ask you. So rather than those things feeling like a chore, like I've got to do that, I've got to organise that, I've got to send that back, can you suggest some simple habits that can help keep a home organised without it feeling like a chore and things are building up?
I'd say one of the quickest and easiest things you can do right now is to create a donation box. It's simply a designated space where you can put things that you no longer want in an area. Take it out of the circulation of your home so that you're not thinking about it and moving it from place to place and literally moving clutter around your space. That it's out of the circulation, it's in a home, and when you're heading out and you've got errands to run, you can take that with you.
Oh, that's a really great way. Just get it into one place rather than everything being scattered around. Just ready to donate when you're on your way out anyway. What are your tips for transitioning our homes from season to season without creating clutter?
Yeah, in the UK, I think we have designated seasons, so we can notice this, and you kind of do recognize and take stock of what you use in particular seasons. If you're a gardener, you'll be gardening at a certain time. When the seasons change, your clothing's change. And so I think if you have the capacity to store things in a different area, if you're able to put things that you're not currently using because of the season that we're in, being able to package those things up in just maybe a clear bin, labels on it so you know where it is, and remove that from your space. This also might take the form of, if you have a small storage box and you put it at the top of your wardrobe, so it's there, but it's not actually something that you're using every day. So that same goes for holiday decorations for Christmas and Easter and Halloween and things like that we use for a certain time during the year, but not for the rest of the year. A lot of times when I go into clients' homes, they've got Halloween decorations mixed in with their gift stuff, their gift cards, and things can just kind of get muddled. If you're able to kind of compartmentalize those and put them into their categories and store them all together, bring them out when the time's right.
And it's easy to find the year after as well.
Yeah.
I really like that advice. Keep everything together. So like me, when you're looking for the pumpkin carving kit, when it comes around to October, you know where it is for that year.
It can save you money as well. You won't be going out to buy duplicates of something you know you have but you can't find.
How can we organise our spaces to promote relaxation and support self-care practices?
Yeah, I think we kind of touched on this to start. Oftentimes when I begin with clients, or I just talk to people in general, they're just so overwhelmed by their entire house, and the thought of decluttering is so overwhelming and they don't know where to start. So my advice is always to start small, but start in a space that's really meaningful to you. If you enjoy cooking, kitchens are big projects, but if you really enjoy cooking, carve out a space in your kitchen that makes it easy for you to use your kitchen to bake or to cook, whatever you love to do, to promote that sense of self-care and relaxation through an activity. You might enjoy relaxing in your bedroom or your living room, and it could just be a corner, but if you're able to kind of declutter a certain area, a chair where you can go and relax, and that is kind of your safe, quiet space. You don't need to do your entire house. You can slowly chip away at projects, but you don't have to tackle everything in order to create calm in your home.
I think that actually will make people feel so much better, because when people think about organising the home and decluttering too, they look at the house as a whole, and then it becomes overwhelming and they just don't know where to start. So I like what you said about thinking about which room to start with, which is the most important to you to, when it is organised and sorted out, it will provide that relaxation, that self-care as well. So that's really great advice. Just do one room at a time. I think people will feel much better hearing that advice, knowing they don't need to tackle it all at once, because it's just not achievable, is it, sometimes as well?
No. I think we have to be really, really kind with ourselves when we work on our homes and declutter and organize. A lot of these situations are really deep, and our habits and emotions with clutter are very, very deep. So just being really kind with yourself, taking it slowly, and just celebrating the wins as well. When you get a drawer decluttered, celebrate that. Don't look at the whole house, just celebrate that drawer.
And stand back and look, and just enjoy. Just look around and think, this is really tidy. I know where everything is. It's really organised. Stand back and enjoy. I like that. So we mentioned earlier on, touched on sustainability a little bit, and a really important question I wanted to ask was, what questions should we ask ourselves before bringing new things into our homes? It's something I'm really conscious about now. I only buy things if it's really necessary. And I think when I touched on me talking about sorting out my wardrobe, that was such a huge thing for me, because rather than going out thinking, I need this for summer, I need these dresses, these t-shirts, these shorts, actually I had probably suitcases and boxes packed full of them, which were still absolutely fine. They were perfect, barely worn, still fit me, and now they're hanging beautifully in the wardrobe so that I can grab them. So rather than us bringing new things into our home all of the time, what can we ask ourselves before we actually go ahead and buy something?
I like that you brought that up, that you know what you have. We call that shopping from your wardrobe or shopping from your cupboard. So when you know what you have, you don't have to go out and buy it again. So that's really, really important. Two really good questions to ask ourselves when we are out shopping are, do I need this? Really, do I need this? And can I live without it? And these are also questions you can ask yourself when you're going through your home and your belongings, really getting in touch with that. A lot of times it feels really good to buy things for different reasons, but if we're able to get in touch with why we're buying it, and that will connect with, when you're doing your decluttering, the kind of the self-growth that comes from looking at your belongings and assessing the worth of things in your home, I think it automatically makes you more aware of bringing new things into your home. You don't want to backpedal and bring stuff in that you are eventually going to have to declutter, or you will want to, or it just is going to take up space. A lot of my clients, once they make space, a common thing is to want to fill that again, but just to enjoy the space as space that you've created and allow it to be. I really like that. And just remind us again those 3 questions that you need to ask yourself. You said when you were sorting through things in your house, which was similar to the ones when you're buying things. What are those questions again? Do I need it? Do I use it? And do I love it?
Do I love it? Do I use it? Do I need it? Do I love it? I love that. That might be the title of the podcast, actually. That's really great. One final question. How can we maintain motivation for keeping the spaces organised in the long term?
Motivation. I'd say once you've done the difficult work of decluttering and creating spaces, it is really important to, first of all, be mindful of what's coming back into your space, and not to fall back into those habits. But little and often, decluttering it's not a one-time activity. It really is an ongoing process. So keeping your space as it is, or ideally how you'd like it, is actually, it's really challenging. So it's important to hold on to what you've created, the space that you've created, without sliding back. There's little things. I've recently learned a saying that says, don't put things down, put it away. And once you've created spaces and homes for things, that putting away is so much easier. And that's a nice, easy way to to keep on top of everything.
It is, and something that after we've chatted today, I'm going to go and tell my children. Once you've picked things up, go and put it away. Don't leave it out for me to put away.
Oh, children, yeah.
Sure, thank you. And summer holidays. Thank you so much for that. I've just really, really great advice. You know, I like to think of myself being an organised person anyway, but what you've said just really resonated, and I will be thinking about those questions every time I think about buying something now, or if I'm looking to declutter and organise again. So thank you for that. I'm sure the listeners will get a lot from that. And one of the main things I really like what you said too is just be kind to yourself about it as well. Don't give yourself a hard time when you're going through this organising stage. And for everybody listening, I will be adding Cher's details to the comment section of the podcast and the social and the blog, so that you can get in touch with Cher, because she does work in person in York and the surrounding area within the UK, but she does work virtually too. So if you're having organisation, decluttering crisis, get in touch with Cher. She's the person to help you with that. So one final question, which I'm asking all of the guests on the podcast, is what is hygge to you?
Oh, I love this question. Lots of things came into my mind, but I think one of my favourite cozy moments is actually every single morning when our little 4-year-old comes in and cuddles with us, and just being snuggled up under blankets and telling us about her dreams or singing a song. Just nice, really lovely family time. That
truly is the best moment. Yeah, I completely get that too. It's like when you start hearing them, you know they'll come running through soon. You hear those little feet. That's a really lovely feeling. Oh, well, thank you so much, Cher, for coming on today.
Thank you. This has been really enjoyable.
Yeah, thanks very much for that. Okay, you're welcome. Thank you for listening today, everybody. We'll see you again in 2 weeks with a brand new guest. I hope you enjoyed listening to myself and Cher Casey today.